Senator, Representative, and the distinguished guests, it is my honor to represent Governor Kasich today on this critically important issue for not only everyone in this room, but for the future of Ohio. As all of you know, Governor Kasich has a personal passion for this issue and for moving forward in real ways and progress for the state of Ohio. You know, today, think about this as we say it, the estimated number of human trafficking victims could fill a large gymnasium in an Ohio high school. Think about that. A large auditorium for the number of human trafficking victims. And as Governor Kasich would say, every person is a child of God with inherent and infinite value. Exploiting a child is not only wrong legally, morally, and in every other way is wrong. And so over the last few years, Ohio has made some significant strides in the effort to combat this terrible crime and practice. But it's a beginning. The strides we've made in Ohio have only been a beginning. And as the Senator said almost 2 years ago, with Representative Fedor's leadership in the legislature, Governor Kasich signed House Bill 262. The bill raised penalties on human traffickers, offers victims protections that they didn't have before, and took steps to raise awareness on the issue. And again, in March of 2012, Governor Kasich signed that executive order that the Senator mentioned, establishing the Human Trafficking Task Force. The work ahead is great, but we've been making an impact. I just want to recount a couple of the significant accomplishments just since those two actions have taken place. In 2013 alone, just last year, there have been 30 state-level investigations on human trafficking cases. Those numbers do not include the inspirational work that's been taking place with the FBI and the Innocence Lost Project, particularly in Northwest Ohio. 7 human traffickers last year were successfully prosecuted and convicted. Since the governor just a few months after the governor made his first announcement about this initiative, when I was the superintendent of the patrol, I got a call of a rescue that took place in Northwest Ohio of 2 young girls that were kidnapped, taken to Michigan, across state lines from Kentucky through Ohio. When one of the girls escaped, was able to signal for help, troopers later found that truck driver who is now in prison. But as all of you know, enforcement and law enforcement is a very small part of this equation. It's important that we train people to recognize the signs of human trafficking and to take action, move people to action. Over 3,000 state employees have now been trained on how to recognize cases of human trafficking. I will tell you that I had the sincere privilege to tour Ohio's child advocacy centers, who received a grant to do not only training, but to help minor victims of human trafficking. One of those places, Michael's house in Fairborn, can be described nothing short of inspirational. And as I talked to people that had spent 20 and 25 years in the field of child abuse, they told me that without that training, they would not have recognized victims of human trafficking that walked through the doors. And they now recognize that many of those victims of child abuse may have been human trafficking victims as well in years in the past. And so, before I introduce our next speaker, who's going to make a significant announcement, launching a new campaign in Ohio, I think it's really important that I stress what Governor Kasich would tell you today. And that is, what we've done so far, while good, is just a beginning. At this point, I would like to introduce Ohio's anti-human trafficking coordinator, Liz Ranade-Janis.